Beverly Hills Cop Axel F is directed by Molloy and is the fourth installment in the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. This film sees Eddie Murphy return as the wisecracking detective Axel Foley. When lives near and dear to him are threatened, Axel must find out who's behind all of it. Now, when it comes to the Beverly Hills Cop movies, I've only seen the first one, and I only saw it recently. But I really enjoyed it. It was funny, it was entertaining, it's just really good 80s fun. But honestly, I didn't really know what to expect going into Beverly Hills Cop 4. I thought it could be one of two things. It'll either be a really fun, nostalgic sequel that captures the spirit of what people loved about the original, or it will just be a cash-in on the franchise name. The best thing about this movie, and the reason to see it, is Eddie Murphy. He just commands the screen. He knows how to light up a moment. It's just really hard not to like him, especially in this role. He's not lost the spirit of the Axel Foley character one bit, and I just loved seeing this character back. In terms of returning characters, we also have Rosewood and Taggart, and seeing those three characters back together was really nice. I especially really like what they do with Taggart as a character. I won't give anything away, but just the way they handle that character, I thought really worked. I have to say, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F is a very funny movie. Again, a lot of that is attributed to Eddie Murphy and his brilliant comedic talent, but I laughed a ton watching this film. So much of the comedy comes from the fact that Axel Foley says inappropriate things in the wrong time. But again, because the characters are so likeable, it just works. This film is the directorial debut of director Mark Molloy. I think the action here is well helmed. Don't get me wrong, this film doesn't have the greatest action scenes ever put to film, but they're competently helmed, and you can tell a lot of them have been done practically. And for me, that's always going to enhance an action sequence when I can see it's something that's physically happening. So there is a lot to really enjoy in this movie, but this movie does have some pretty major script problems. Firstly, the heart of this movie is a father-daughter story, as Axel Foley has a daughter called Jane. And I do think the storyline is pretty half-baked, because the setup of this storyline is that Axel Foley and his daughter don't really speak. And while the film does give some reasons for this, it also can be very vague. So while I liked what they did give us, it's the fact that they hint at other stuff and don't explore it at all, which can be a bit frustrating, because I was sitting there thinking, no, go into that, I want to know more. But then they move on to something else. So because of that, the heart of the film isn't as strong as it could be. I do also think this is an overstuffed movie. There are quite a few plot lines going on, and I think they focus on some more than others. Unfortunately, they focus on the least interesting ones more. This is especially true for the character of Billy Rosewood, because there is an intriguing setup with this character that kind of starts off the whole mystery. There's also another storyline involved with the mystery, and I didn't find this as interesting. And for me, that lowered the stakes. If it was far more about Billy Rosewood, the stakes would have been higher. And finally, there's a romance here that feels really forced. It's between Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, who's a detective, and Jane, Axel's daughter. And this just didn't work for me. I did not feel the romance at all. So every time they kind of alluded to it and cut back to it, I kind of rolled my eyes. Overall, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F doesn't quite live up to some of the recent Jerry Bruckheimer produced legacy sequels. I do think films such as Top Gun Maverick and Bad Boys 3 and 4 are better, but it is good fun. It does capture the spirit of the original. Eddie Murphy is the reason to watch this. He is so good in this role. And I've got to say, this is a much better movie than Coming to America, and that's really all I can ask for. I'm going to give Beverly Hills Cop Axel F a B-. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. Blu-ray Billy, logging off.